football fans from around the world. You are tuned into the Cuda Cast, the official podcast of the Dubai Barracudas. I'm your host, Coach Jerry, and with me as always, the lovely Miss Gracie.
Hello, Barracuda family.
I already had said.
Welcome back to Cuda Cast, Season 2, Episode 2.
Episode 2. Had some great games out there this past week.
Exciting games. Turkey Bowl.
Yeah, Turkey Bowl on Wednesday.
And Friday. Mm-hmm.
Friday. And actually, all our teams played. Pee-wees played. Bantam played. JV played. Varsity played. Men's played. That's a lot of games.
It was an exciting, fun-filled weekend.
I'll tell you what. Let's start with the Pee-wees. How'd they do?
Okay. Well, they started off as to be expected. You know, a little bit rusty, but a lot of these players are first-time players. Young little Barracudas out there on the field.
They look little out there too.
They look like they're having the greatest time of their life, and I'm sure they are. They started off a little bit slow, but once they understood, this is what coach meant during practice.
Right.
It all started to sink in and click, and they actually ended up with the big W, first win of the season for our Pee Wee Barracudas.
Who'd they play?
They played the Stallions.
The Stallions.
Yeah.
I think we all played the Stallions, right?
Except the men's and the varsity played different teams. But they had a strong first game. Very exciting to watch. It was hard to take pictures because I wanted to enjoy the moment and see these kids. Their faces light up when they were running down with the ball. It was very exciting. Coach Scott and Coach Sonny, excellent job for the first game.
First game, yeah.
First game for both.
First game for both.
First time
game
coaches.
Yep. Sonny and Scott. I actually spoke to Scott after the game. I was talking to him a little bit, and I asked him, how he felt to get his first W. And here's what he had to say.
Absolutely fantastic. The boys were superb today. They put into practice all the training that we've done. Really, really delighted. It feels good to be a first-time winner. Haven't had a lot of sleep this week. Been very nervous about it, but feel really good. Thank you.
So
yes, are you familiar with that, Coach? Sleepless nights.
That's it. I told him afterwards that nerves is a good thing. First of all, it's because you care, right? If you didn't care, if you just, whatever, then of course you wouldn't get nervous. You just go out there and let the kids run around or whatnot. But he genuinely cares. His son is a second-year player, Josh, and he's also the quarterback. So, having him as a first-time coach, it was just one of those deals because their head coach from last year moved up to the Bantam division. He's the offensive coordinator, Xavier Cobb, for the Bantam. So, Scott was asked, and Sonny volunteered as well. And I think they make a dynamic duel, a 1-2 kapow. And then it shows, right? I mean, they're, as coaches, they ask a lot of questions of, some of the other coaches that have a little bit more experience. So they're eager to learn, and they're eager to pass down, some football skills that are necessary to win these games. And it seems to me they're on the right path. Those little guys. I mean, it's amazing. After watching like a men's game, you look at the Pee-wees, they're so tiny out there. The helmets are like, they look like Gadzook. That if you guys remember Gadzook from the Flintstones, that green Martian looking dude with a big old head. That's what the Pee-wees remind me of. They're running around with big old helmets, and and they play 8-man. So there's a lot of field. So there's a lot of space for these little dudes to get in there and run around. And they're cute out there.
Yeah, and some of their key players, from what I can remember, is a few of them are Justin and Ryan.
Ryan, right?
And of course, you said the coach's son,
Josh,
the quarterback. They all did the entire team, hands down. They all worked collectively together and. At the end of the game, they kept saying that they are, I think their new term is Cudalicious.
Cudalicious? Man, I wish I would have thought of that.
So, great spirit throughout the team. great atmosphere to play in. And don't get me wrong, the Stallions put up a solid fight. It was a great effort.
It was
a close game, 27-19.
Yeah.
It
like
really did come down
difference.
to the last few plays of the game, and it was very exciting to watch. And the Stallions, like I said, they played just as hard, and their kids were just as eager to go out there and execute everything that they've been learning for the past few weeks. So it was probably one of the most exciting games.
Yeah, it started off pretty good. Our game, the Bantam game, was right after theirs, so we were warming up when their game was still going on. So I missed the end. But for those of you that have a Huddle account, you can just go back and watch the film there, and you could watch the entire game minus the audio. And it's just it was a great game all the way around.
Looking forward to their next game coming up this weekend in Abu Dhabi, Zayed Sports City.
Who are they playing?
So Pee-wees will face the Vipers at 12:30. Yeah.
Another Dubai team.
Yeah. So
big congratulations to Coach Scott, Coach Sonny, and the entire Pee-wee Barracudas team. Yep. Let's keep it going.
Next.
Bantam. Dun, dun, dun.
The Bantam division.
That's the new division. So, as we mentioned the last CudaCast, we have 3 players that came down from JV because of their age, and the rest of them are brand new Pee-wee players that moved up. So,
or new to the game.
Game. We have a couple that are brand new to the game. So we played also the Stallions at Dubai Sports City, and we started off really, really slow.
Very slow. Kind of made me nervous.
Me too.
As a parent and as a Barracuda fan, I was a bit nervous. But I don't know what you Coach Jerry and Coach Cobb told them at the end of the first quarter, but it seemed to make sense.
Right.
They gained some momentum after Isaiah threw his first completion.
Right.
And some great offensive plays.
That first game, it reminded me of a lot of our Barracuda team 2 or 3 years ago. I mean, we'd have great practices, like our first practice of the week would be fantastic.
Right.
Then the practice before the game would be just horrible. So then you're kind of nervous. You go into the game, and then they play lights out. So it kind of reminded me of that, in that, we hadn't had a great practice. We had one good practice and one so-so practice. But I was still confident going in, and I could tell the boys were confident going in. And when we got out there, it was just rough.
Right.
It was rough. I mean, we had some bad handoffs. We had a couple fumbles. I mean, that first quarter was just back and forth.
A lot of mistakes.
Yeah, somebody said, hey, that first quarter, I think, was played between the 40s or the 30s, right? Because we never got in the red zone. I don't think they ever got in the red zone. Or if we did, it was just like very minimal. And we just couldn't get it going. I attribute that a little bit to, our play calling. I was asking Coach Cobb to be a little bit aggressive. I asked him to do some things that we weren't quite ready for, and it showed. It showed with just blotched plays. So again, as a coach, I take full responsibility for that. But then, we calmed down. We had a couple timeouts. I think at the end of the first quarter and going into the second quarter, so when things really took off. And we just told them, hey, let's come out here, let's play our game. Right, let's just play our game. Don't worry about those other dudes. And the thing is, we scrimmage those guys all the time, and we scrimmage the Vipers as well all the time. So, I don't want to say they're buddies, but they are, right?
They're familiar,
right? Mm-hmm. There's familiarity. They're buddies with each other and this and that. And I'm like, hey, look, we're here to play a game. We're not scrimmaging. We're not just messing around. So let's get out there. Let's be serious. Let's play our game. Let's run our offense. And then we took off. After that, it was everyone played great. Isaiah had his first touchdown pass to Jason Cobb. And even then, that wasn't the play we called, right?
Oh, was it?
Nope, not at all. We don't normally throw into triple coverage,
Right.
but this time it worked. They played Jason a little bit soft, and Isaiah just threw a perfect touch pass. And Jason, being the athlete he is, was pretty aggressive, went and caught the ball. Mustafa running lights out.
Couple of stiff arms.
I think he had a touchdown or two as well.
Yep.
And our offensive line was just started blocking a lot better. Gave Isaiah some time. They had I don't think they had any sacks, and I think they knocked down Isaiah maybe once or twice.
Right.
But they didn't have any sacks during the whole game that I can recall. So yeah, no, it got going, but that was all started by the defense. Our defense kept us in the game. That, like I said, that first quarter into the second quarter, we were just going back and forth. I mean, they had a strong defense. Then our defense came out strong, and then just little by little we started getting the edge. And then once we got our offense going and kept their defense out there, we kind of wore them down a little bit. But our boys played fantastic. I mean, just top to bottom. The new kids, the returning peewees, the three JV kids that stayed down. Everyone played well. Our defensive ends, Bora, Akmal. I still can't. Akmal's a gift, right? He's a gift. I mean, you've seen the kid, right? He's like over 6 feet tall.
6'2", 6'3".
Yeah, 13 years old. And I still can't believe that the other two teams passed on him.
Right.
I had the last pick, and they passed on him. They say you can't coach size, right? You just can't coach size. You either have it or you don't. They passed on this kid, so I scooped him up. And yeah, he was a little bit raw, around the edges, but you can work with that, as long as he has the size. And he went out there and he was just beasting. I mean,
he's very quick to learn. He asks a question, it's explained once, and
that's it. And he does it.
That's it.
And then our practice this week, I showed him a little bit of a game film from Huddle. And, he's smiling the whole time and shaking his head because he knows, what I'm explaining. He knows exactly. It makes sense because he's laughing because he can see himself being out of position.
Right.
Right. I don't have to tell him anything. It's on the film. Here, you look where you're standing. He's like, oh, I get it, coach. So he's a fantastic addition. We had some excellent runs by Jason as well. And, of course, Wes Sadani.
Oh, gosh. Was he outstanding or what?
I'll tell you what.
Hands down.
I'll tell you what.
Some of the hardest hits, hardest runs I've seen at this age. When
he was brought onto the Barracudas team, some of the other coaches and some of the other players, were singing his praises, and I just wasn't buying it because I had never seen the kid play. He played Pee Wee last year in Abu Dhabi, and they moved to Dubai, and I had never seen the kid play. I don't know what he was about, but everybody's like, "Oh yeah, he's pretty good. We should try and get him." And I'm like, well, I just don't know. He hasn't shown me anything, right? It's like
gotta see it to believe it.
Yeah, I gotta see it to believe it. And a lot of times you get these players that when they move up a division, because now they're the younger player in the division, they're not as effective or whatnot. But now with the Bantam division, that age difference, it's just not there anymore the way it used to be. If you had a 12-year-old playing JV last year, or look at Isaiah, 11-year-old playing with 13, 14-year-olds last year, he's just not effective. I don't care how big he is.
Right.
11 going up against a 14-year-old, that's just that's a big difference in age and a mental maturity. So anyway, I hadn't seen anything from this kid. And, in practice, you really can't, you can gauge it a little bit, but it's not until game time. And man, he went out there and he just ran with viciousness.
Right.
I don't know how to describe it. For those of you that were not at the game, I mean, this kid, we gave him, we ran a sweep with him to the right side, and he reversed it because the defense was collapsing on him. He reversed it, ran to the other side of the field, and as he took off upfield, one of their cornerbacks or outside linebackers, squared up on him, and he just blasted him. I mean, he knocked the kid's helmet off. He knocked the kid's helmet off. And it's like, wow. Well, turns out the kid didn't have his helmet snapped on properly. So, there you go, kiddos. There's the importance of having your equipment on. Lesson learned, yeah. So it was a good win.
Yeah. Had an interception by Jerry Dominguez.
Jerry Dominguez, yep. we had him at corner, and yeah, they threw the ball up in the air. They tried to air it out a little bit, and yeah, he came up with a fantastic interception, ran it back for about 20 or 30 yards. So yeah, good play by him. Good heads up play by him.
Overall, a great team effort and great. Like you said, once the momentum took off,
Right.
It was.
Well, once we got it going, then it just once you get it
Right.
going, then it just keep going. So carry that momentum forward. So yeah, what was the final score on that game?
32-0.
32-0.
Yeah.
32-0.
So next we play the Abu Dhabi Scorpions in Abu Dhabi.
Right.
Abu Dhabi Scorpions are
They're a
a
tough team.
tremendous
They're a tough team
They're
because
strong.
the Scorpions last year were a small team because they were made primarily of peewees that had moved up. So now they're the older team, right? Because now
Right.
they're a year older, and everyone else has peewees that moved up into bantam. So a lot of their JV players from last year, because of their age, are now stayed as bantam players, and they have a great offense installed. Coach JC, and who's their other coach? Is it Jason Wall? I think it's Jason Wall.
Okay.
Yeah, because they got Ethan Wall. So those two guys, they're picking up a team that already knows the system, and you could tell from the little bit of the game that I watched, you could tell they're going out there and they're running the ball well. So it's going to be a tough game for us. It could be a challenge, but we're gonna have our boys prepared. We're gonna go out there, and we're gonna put up a fight like we always do.
Yeah.
Our JV played, but they
Our
played
JV played on Wednesday.
They played on Wednesday at ASD.
They were our first game to start off our season.
Turkey bowl, gobble gobble,
Boom. Yeah.
gobble gobble. Did you eat turkey, by the way?
I think I ate turkey and lots of stuffing. Stuffing is my favorite, so I
Stuffing?
can't pass up the stuffing.
Nah,
Yeah.
I ate a lot of turkey.
And dessert.
Psh, you best believe I ate dessert.
Carrot cake, pumpkin pie,
I must have
pecan
eaten.
pie.
Yeah, all of the above.
Yes.
I think I ate all of that. Actually, I don't want to say I think I know I ate all of
Right.
that. I ate all that junk.
And the next
Turkey,
day it tastes even better.
Stuffing. I ate it all. No, it was great.
Leftovers.
They're the best.
Yeah.
They're the best. Leftover turkey, Thanksgiving leftovers are the best, hands down. But they put you to sleep.
So speaking of turkey,
Speaking of turkey, Gobble Gobble Turkey Bowl was on Wednesday.
Wednesday,
at
November
ASD.
25th at American School of Dubai.
Right.
Third annual.
Third
Correct?
annual
Yeah. And
against the Stallions.
Right.
Our crosstown rivals. You got to understand, ladies and gentlemen, when we first did the first Turkey Bowl, it was 3 years ago. There was only two Dubai teams.
Right.
Two Dubai teams and one Abu Dhabi team. I think that's what it was, right?
yeah.
Back in the day. We had Stallions, we had Barracudas, and we had Wildcats, I believe. So it kind of became a tradition. So as we've added more teams, we've kept that tradition going with the Stallions and the Barracudas. So that's why the Stallions and the Barracudas play in the Turkey Bowl, even though there's other teams in the league. Traditionally, it's like
That is the tradition.
it's like the Cowboys playing
From
on
now
Thanksgiving.
going forward, yeah.
It's like the Cowboys playing on Thanksgiving. So they played, and that was an exciting game too. That was opening game of the season.
We had some excellent performances by Daniel Perlin, our quarterback, who ran in for a 2-point conversion. We had Elias on a long run. I thought he was going to score, but
Me
man,
too.
he came short.
He came up short.
He came up short. Also, a strong performance by Joaquin Campos.
He's a
strong
beast.
runner. Yeah, he just goes down the middle. That's his path. He says.
As the boys say, he runs like a duck, but he runs like a hard, fast,
Fastest duck I've seen.
Yeah, that's the toughest, fastest duck I've ever seen run.
And he doesn't mind us saying that, by the way.
no,
Okay,
he
we
doesn't.
also had Keon.
Of course,
Played hard, tough.
of course.
He has been looking forward to this game for so long because it's his high school, right? That's where he
Right.
goes to school, and he
He had a cheering section.
yeah. So he had to
He had his fans out there. He had to show off for.
show them his skills, and he did that. So final score for that was 16-0.
Yeah, they looked good.
They did.
They looked good. It was a lot of back and forth. Again, we'll score like 16-0. It's not like everybody was going lights out, but it was hard fought. the Stallions, they have a new coach, Coach Justin, and every coach brings their own personality, and it showed. It showed. These guys were out there, they were playing tough, especially on defense. They looked improved over last year's JV team. So big shout out to Coach Justin over at the Stallions. Fortunately for us, the Barracudas, our boys went out there and played. Connected a few more times and got in the end zone a couple times. So we walked away with the win, and the Turkey Bowl trophy
remains
in the hands of the Barracudas.
Yeah, way to go.
Woohoo. Gobble, gobble. I just like saying gobble, gobble because it was like Turkey Day and all that.
Is it your favorite holiday? Why did I sound British?
I don't know. Maybe because you said the word holiday. Is it my favorite holiday? No, honey, my favorite holiday would be our anniversary or your birthday.
Or Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Good answer.
Yeah. So
no doghouse for you.
All right. So then let's go to the varsity.
Shall we move on to varsity?
Yeah, varsity. So varsity was actually supposed to have a bye this week.
Right.
But they teamed up with, I'm sorry, they didn't team up with anybody. The Foxes put a team together at the varsity level. And so it was kind of a last minute deal. So we were able to get out there and play a game. Now, I'm the special teams coordinator for JV and varsity. But again, because they were playing at the same time we were playing, I didn't get to see much of their game or contribute much as a coach to their special teams. So I missed quite a bit of that game. But
it was close.
It was.
I mean, going into the half, it was 0-0. So
at halftime, it was 0-0?
It was 0-0, yeah.
Yeah, that's real close.
So third quarter is when Alain began to probably make some adjustments, and they scored on us. But halftime it was pretty tied up. It was tied up. So so in that regards,
pretty tied up.
Yeah, it was
Guns N' Roses. Were you Guns N' Roses fans? Any Guns N' Roses fans out there? Right. So both of those teams, they're small teams, right? How many subs did each team have? Like one?
Yeah, I mean,
like one sub.
It's tough to pull kids out of the game when you have no one to sub for them. But
you know what? I'm down with that. Like I think we had like 2 subs.
You did
2 subs. I'm down with it because everybody gets to play. Everybody has to play. Everybody has to get in there. Everybody has to contribute. It's not like playing in high school where you can hide somebody, right?
Right.
Or some of the players are on the team, and they're cool if they play, they're cool if they don't.
Or if you're excited about playing and then you're sitting on the bench all game. Yeah.
Right.
Does that sound familiar to you?
No, it doesn't. I don't know what you're talking about. I have no idea what you're talking about. The bench? What's that? What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. So these teams, I don't know how many subs they have. How many did they have at varsity?
I don't remember, but I didn't see. It's obvious that they didn't have a lot because there's not a lot of blue on the sidelines.
It was on both sides.
Yeah, on both sides.
The Foxes, yeah. So we right now we're trying to make a big push into recruiting. So if any of you guys know any varsity or JV players that would love to be Barracudas, and that should be everybody.
Now's the time.
Now's the time. Bring your recruits in and show them to Coach Campos, and we'll put them on the team.
And if they sign up for the league, I will personally give you a free T-shirt.
Outstanding. How about that? So whoever brings in the most players gets a free T-shirt from the lovely Miss Gracie.
Yeah. I'll sign it too.
She can even sign it too. Like, it's not even her shirt or anything. It's not even an EFL shirt. It's gonna be some like a cleaning shirt that we have here at the house, but it'll be signed. So, there you go. We're starting to give away freebies.
Yeah,
giving
free
away
T-shirts
freebies.
for the people that bring in the most recruits.
Right.
Yes.
At combined JV or varsity. So I'll start hounding all your buddies at school, all the athletic guys, all the big guys, all the skinny guys, all the little guys, all the nerds. I don't care.
Right. Like you said, now's the time. If they have a friend and they want that friend to be on their team,
now's the time to do it.
Now's the time. May not happen again.
Now's the time to do it. Unfortunately, they lost the varsity.
Yeah. They lost 12-0. So it was,
it was pretty tight. 12-0. So they scored twice and couldn't convert? Was that what happened?
That's what happened, yes.
So it's like we have a good goal line defense.
Right. And we have a fresh new quarterback. I believe it was his first game ever.
Ever.
It was impressive start.
F.A.?
for
Is
the
that his
season.
name? F.A.? Yep. Yeah, first time. He's an athletic kid. Never played football before, but he's out there running around, throwing the ball around. He looks good out there. It'll come with time. He's a great kid. He shows great initiative. You know, he's going out there and he's asking his guys to show up to practice early so they can toss the ball around.
Well,
so
that.
they can run some routes. I know. Not a whole lot of kids do that. Show that kind of that kind of leadership, but he's one of them. So good on him. So who do they play next?
They have a bye week and they don't play again until the new year. So they don't play again until January.
Oh, okay.
So they have a long break. They have, like you said, we have time to recruit people.
Right.
So this is the time to go out there and have your friends join you. But yeah, they don't play again until next year.
Okay.
I don't believe the schedule for that game has been set. So once we know, we will let you guys, we'll pass the information on to you.
Mm-hmm. And the final game was the men's?
The men's game versus the Abu Dhabi Wildcats.
Great game. That game I watched.
Strong what?
Strong defense.
Strong defense, yeah.
Strong defense. That defense played lights out. I'll tell you what, I got to get up to the Wildcats quarterback, Perry. He's like 50-something, 52, I think. That's what I was told. I mean, he's a tough dude. Big body. He's a big dude.
Right.
But man, he was getting sacked left and right. But he just gets up. He just gets up. He's a tough dude. I mean, we've hung out with him. He's just a tough dude.
And just like the most of our other teams, and probably around the league too, our men's started off really slow.
I think it's just the first game.
Yeah, everybody's, some people might have nerves and
right.
It's the first game and they're just trying to settle back into the groove of things. So this game was no different. It started off really slow. A lot of catches from...
a lot of drop passes.
A lot of drop passes. There we go.
Passes.
And
I'm not going to call you out, Liban.
Liban.
I'm not going to call you out. Don't worry. I won't call you out.
But if he's in traffic, he catches it.
But if he's in traffic, he catches it. And he lets you know about it. No, he did have a couple of catches in traffic.
Right.
That he ran for a few yards. Sully had some fantastic receptions as well. But again, I think he dropped one or two. Rich, and my apologies go out to Rich because I've been pronouncing his last name as Steed. It's actually Stead. Thank you, Memorial High School English teachers. Big shout out to them. So Rich Stead, he had a drop pass, but then he made up for it, right?
Oh, more than so, yeah.
Then the very next play, he caught it for a touchdown. I'll tell you what, he's been helping the JV and the varsity out.
He's an assistant coach for both, right?
He's an assistant coach for JV and varsity, and he's real patient with the kids. And I was, telling Coach Patrick that I think he's a great addition to the coaching staff. And I was kind of singing his praises a little bit. And then I saw him out in the field, and I'm like, what the hell? Is this the same guy?
He knows what he's talking about because he's doing what he's saying, yeah.
I mean, he was running just all over the place. Offense, defense, didn't matter. So big shout out to Rich, our coach there. But then our defense just kept us in the game the whole time.
It was a strong defensive game.
Is it just me, or did Stefan get bigger?
No. Well, what is he eating?
Everything.
Yeah, he's definitely either that or everybody else got smaller.
Man, that guy's big.
And his improvement is obvious.
Yep.
He has grown and learned, developed
his
throughout.
Technique.
Yes,
he's fast off the up. Eric,
Yep.
I agree.
He did some studying during the off season.
He looks a lot better out there. He looks a lot more comfortable.
Yep. Props to him.
Before he was early last season or whatever his first season was. Obviously when you're a first time player, you seem a little bit out of place. But now he's got his legs under him now, and he's.
I can't wait. I can't wait for the rest of the season to see what he's going to contribute to the team.
That's a big dude.
It was a good game.
Big dude, but I mean, there was a lot of guys that played well.
Lamar Ellison.
He just came back. He was he had been doing some fitness competitions and something like that, so he hadn't been to practice or whatnot. But he was there, and they gave him some touches, especially in the second half. And as a matter of fact, I spoke to him after the game. Here's what he had to say.
I think the biggest piece was that our offensive line, they really, really put the blocking in. And luckily, I had some fresh legs coming in from the second half. So I was able to just use my fresh legs and the key blocking and bring it in.
Yeah, so he ran one in for a touchdown.
Yeah.
Like I said, that line was blocking, opening up those lanes, and he was able to. He looked quick out there.
Yeah.
He looked really, really quick.
Fresh legs,
fresh
fast.
legs. Yeah, especially in the second half where he got some carries. But I mean, just everyone. Dennis.
Oh,
I forget his last name. He was wearing like a busted 46 jersey with tape on it.
Yes.
It didn't matter. I mean, he was just slicing them up, slicing
the
and
field.
dicing. Yeah. That dude's
Was that
a beast.
30, 40-yard
Return. Yep. And I think he's a first time player too.
Really?
But he was just playing lights out. Arthur Provençal is another one that I saw out there. He was on special teams, and I'm just getting down there. Sommer. I mean, just everyone, all around played well. I spoke to Xavier Cobb, their QB, and I asked him a few things. What were some of the keys to the win? And this is what he had to say.
Our defense did an awesome job. It made our offense run. It made our offensive game a lot better. It gave us a short field to work with. We started off kind of slow with the run game. We had a couple of drop passes, but the defense definitely won this game for us.
Yeah, he just reinforced everything we said, right?
Right.
They started off slow.
But the defense, kept them in the game. So after the game, I caught up with, again, my apologies go out to Michael Hinge. That's not his real name. His real name, that's his fake name. That's his fake name. For those of you that don't know, that's his fake name. His real name is Michael Hinga. So I've been mispronouncing his name the whole time as well. My apologies. So he's their defensive captain. And, I caught up with him, said, hey, what were some of the things that you guys saw out there on defense? And here we go.
Well, I mean, we're missing a lot of key players at the same time from last year. And so everyone had to step up. So really it was the intensity that everyone brought. Making sure that if anything bad happened, they forget about that play and they just move on to the next one. Everyone lifts themselves up, lifts the team up, and we keep on playing as a team. It's not just one man on the field. Everyone does their job, and you're going to win ball games. That's how we do it.
Good point.
Good points. So, you heard it from Lamar saying the entire line was blocking for him when he was running the ball. You heard it from Xavier saying the line was blocking for him and the defense was keeping him in. And now you're hearing it from the defensive captain that they played as a team, and that's what kept them in the game. So it's quite obvious that they're gelling really, really well as a team.
Right.
So, I mean, they look great. I thought they looked fantastic out there.
And you hear it on the sidelines where if some like Michael Hinga just said, one bad play doesn't
short memory.
Yeah, so it's gone. Let's go forward, right? Let's go on to the next one, and that's exactly what they did.
Right, pick yourself up, dust it off, and go on to the next one. So
it was an exciting game.
What was the final score?
15-0.
15-0. So yeah, they had a safety, right? Did they have a safety? No,
you
wrong
had
game.
a safety. Bantam had a safety.
Bantam had a safety. That's right.
You just
wrong
wanted
game.
to talk about Bantam again, didn't you?
No, it's just that we watch so many games. I forget.
I know they're all.
I forget. They all kind of go into
together.
one.
No, and the men's had 2 touchdowns.
I'm
on
like,
the field goal.
hey, do you remember that play where Stefan was against the Pee-wees and he ran? Yeah, it just all seems like the same.
Yeah, I hear you.
So, that noise would be our other Barracudas fan, the wonderful Flaushy Baushi Baitor, playing with his toys. Doesn't let us podcast.
Right.
He's also a knucklehead.
But no, they scored 2 touchdowns and a field goal.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, special teams played lights out too on the men's.
Blocked. Was there a blocked?
Yeah, they were putting a lot of pressure on them, but they kept getting called for roughing the
path.
kicker. Roughing the kicker. Or roughing the kicker, which I was like, really? But you know what? They kept that pressure on. Actually, Stefan was in on a couple of those. A couple of those were on him. But so that just shows he's getting back there and just blasting these guys, which is what we need him to do. And they also whenever they had to punt, I don't think their punts were blocked. Mm-hmm. So shout out to their special teams coordinator, Coach Brett Turek. Good job, man.
Yeah, and he's also assistant coach for.
He's offensive coordinator for varsity and JV.
There you go.
So he's a great all arounder. So when's their next game? Do we have that scheduled yet?
The men's play. They have a bye this week. They play again December 11th at the Sevens Rugby Stadium.
December 11th?
Yes. So mark that on your calendar.
Oh, we won't be here.
Yeah. Falcons will be in Pop Warner. But,
right.
the game goes on. The show goes on. So they'll be playing at the Sevens. Looking forward to hearing about that because we won't be here. But hopefully we'll get to watch it on Huddle. And best of luck to our men's, all of our teams coming up this weekend and the following weekend.
So just to reiterate, Pee Wee's play.
So week 2 consists of Pee Wee Barracudas versus the Vipers at 12:30 Zayat Sports City. Mm-hmm. Bantam versus Scorpions at 2.
Zayat Sports City.
JV Barracudas versus Team Abu Dhabi at 4 Zayat Sports City, and they will all be at pitch 15. So it'll just be one game.
Oh,
same pitch.
All three teams play back to back.
Varsity and men's have a bye this week, so they get a little bit of a break.
Outstanding. So if you guys have any questions, gripes, concerns, complaints, send them to Miss Gracie. If you have anything cool to say, send them to me. No.
And we're serious about this recruiting, bringing players, and I will personally buy the T-shirts for you. So if you have,
there you go.
Whoever has the most recruits gets a free T-shirt.
Yep.
Or something similar. Mm-hmm. So
send any gripes, comments, concerns, ideas. We're always looking for ideas. We're trying to grow the podcast a little bit. Maybe break it up into segments. But we can't do it without your help. We want you guys to offer some input. Let us know what you think would be cool.
So we need funds.
So send money. Our PayPal account is our Bitcoin account is all nerds. I think only Michael Anderson knows what I'm talking about. Send all that correspondence to barracudasdxb@gmail.com.
That's barracudasdxb@gmail.com.
And the lovely Miss Gracie handles that account, so she'll be reading all your correspondence.
No spam, please.
No spam.
Or YouTube cat videos. I've seen them all.
She's a cat lady. Yeah. So send all your info there. If you have any ideas for the podcast, that any segments, anything, questions, questions that you'd like for us to read in the air. Or we can go old school and you can send your shout outs.
Yeah, shout out to my girlfriend.
Yeah, we'll do shout outs. No problem. Shout outs are easy.
What we're going to do also is we're going to start taking live calls on there. So should be interesting. And fun, unpredictable.
As always.
Yeah.
This podcast is like totally unscripted. Because, once you start scripting it and you kind of start outlining it, then it becomes like a job. And I already have one of those and I don't want another one. So, we just do this for fun. We do this for our entertainment as much as your entertainment. So we just like to get on here and we just like to talk and
listen to ourselves. We love to hear the sound of our voices.
Speak for yourself. I don't like listening to you.
No, we do it because we love football.
Right. We love football. And this originally started because we had some fans, a.k.a. my family, back in the States who were like, hey, what's up with all this football stuff in the UAE? We're like, you know what? Instead of calling them every week and talking to them.
Yeah, exactly.
It
gets expensive.
No. If I do a podcast, I don't have to listen to them. They only have to listen to me. So it's a win-win. They're lucky enough to only listen and not have to say anything. And I'm lucky enough that I just hear myself talk. So
you get to see me.
And I get to see the lovely Miss Gracie, because living with her is not enough, so, being married for 19 years is not enough.
Yeah,
it's not enough. My favorite holiday is her birthday, and that's still not enough. The life of a married man. So, so that's why we do this podcast. So yeah, if you have any ideas, shoot them our way. barracudasdxb@gmail.com.
And one final note before we close, I'd like to wish all the Falcons traveling teams the best of luck this coming week. They will be departing for Pop Warner Orlando on Saturday and Sunday. And so let's go out there and play hard. Let's kick some butt, as they say.
Speaking of the Falcons, the last podcast we left out a Barracuda.
Yes.
Mate Fair.
He's my favorite Barracuda.
He is my favorite Barracuda. He's the Hungarian Hammer.
Yeah.
You like that? I just made his nickname up just right now because I'm quick like that.
Well, now that's what it is. Yeah.
Mate the Hungarian Hammer. That's what I'm going to call him from now on. He's got all that big hair and stuff. Perfect nickname for him.
Yeah. So apologies for leaving you out, but now you get 10, 20 seconds worth of airtime.
Oh,
Mate.
and we get to tell a quick story. So last year, I think it was the last game of the season, he actually breaks his arm.
Yeah.
I heard it go crack. I was like, ouch. It was just a freak play. I think he took a helmet to the forearm. This fool gets up. And he's just looking at his arm. And I've seen enough injuries to know when someone is in shock. I don't think he was in shock. I truly believe he's just that tough. Because he got up and he was just like, oh, man, my arm's messed up.
He said, I think it's broken.
I think it's broken. We're like, yeah, that's not supposed to look that way. And he walked himself off the field. I think the medic and everyone else was freaking out more than he was.
Right.
And he was just kind of sitting down as we made arrangements and to get him to the hospital and all that. And in those few minutes, he was just hanging out.
Yeah.
Just hanging out. Tough kid. Hungarian Hammer.
Yeah.
Hungarian Hammer. So with that being said, this is the end of the podcast.
We look forward to week 2. Let's go Cudas.
Go Cudas. Music by Audionautics.com.